In the last videos, I explained a lot about video encoding, and in this video I will talk about a little less important things, but things that will still help you a lot if you combine all of this knowledge together. And after that, I will give you my recommendations for video encoding. So one of things that may improve your video quality with no cost to encoding time or file size is bit depth. Standard bit depth is 8-bit, and basically everything is 8-bit. YouTube content, JPEG photos, but some content is 10-bit, like HDR videos or Dolby Vision videos from your iPhone. We can also do something other, use 10-bit but for normal 8-bit SDR content. So instead of typical 256 shades of each color, it will expand to 1024. That won't improve color quality, but because there are more shades, it will greatly reduce rounding errors when video codec tries to transform the image. You will notice that, especially in low contrast or dark scenes, where you will just get more details instead of blocks or bending caused by not enough space between shades. So 10-bit sounds like an amazing thing because you gain quality without any additional work or problems, but not all players or devices support 10-bit. If you are encoding videos for offline personal use, always use 10-bit. But if you want to use 10-bit for social media or your own site, there may be some compatibility issues and you need to check if it works in your scenario. I didn't saw any problems with 10-bit uploads for a long time, but maybe that one site where you upload videos will have problems with that. Test it first, and if it works correctly, always use 10-bit. Now, audio encoding. You have many codecs, but you should use only 3: AAC, HE-AAC V1, or Opus. Standard AAC, also called AAC Low Complexity, is the best in terms of compatibility because it works everywhere and has very good quality, starting from 112 kilobits per second. HE-AAC V1 also has great compatibility, but it's focused on high efficiency, so it performs best at low bitrates such as 32 or 64 kilobits per second. In high bitrate scenarios, these additional high efficiency techniques cause artifacts, so you should always switch to standard AAC if you use high or even medium bitrate. There is one small or big problem with HE-AAC V1. Good encoders of this codec are not open source, and that means that popular tools such as FFmpeg don't ship with good encoder as license of FFmpeg, and such encoder is not compatible. That means that you need to build FFmpeg yourself. It is very easy because of script from BTBN, thanks to which you can build binary with high quality Fraunhofer HE-AAC encoder, just 2 commands and it's done. Remember that I'm talking about encoding process, because decoding works everywhere perfectly. Opus combines high efficiency of HE-AAC V1 and high quality at high bitrates of standard AAC. It would be the best option, but sadly there are some problems. In iOS Safari, video with Opus needs to be packaged in a specific container, and standard MP4 file with Opus won't work, and that's why it's hard to recommend Opus even for personal use. You have iPhone and now you don't have audio. There are of course other codecs. MP3, just don't use that, way inferior to AAC and causes a lot of artifacts at all bitrates. You have also HE-AAC V2, because I told about V1 before. But V2 causes too much artifacts because of parametric stereo technique. The newest codec that many social media apps use is XHE-AAC, which has ultra-high efficiency, but it's way too early to recommend it. Social media applications have built-in decoders, so they don't need to think about support. But if you want to publish video with this audio codec online, then majority of browsers just don't support it. So what are my recommendations? For audio encoding, 99% of people should always use standard AAC. It works everywhere, you can encode it in every program, and it is very efficient starting from 96 kilobits per second bitrate. If you need lower bitrate like 48, 64 kilobits per second, you should use HEAAC v1. Opus is loved by community, but as long as Apple has these weird policies of blocking open source codecs in popular formats such as MP4, it's hard to recommend. And the worst thing is that Opus didn't do anything wrong, it's just Apple. In terms of video encoding, if you want small file size and efficient encoding, you should always use AV1. All major platforms such as YouTube supports that, and most browsers supports AV1 too. The problem is, as always, Apple, where AV1 is supported just in selected devices. The best combination for your own site would be AV1 plus H.265 as fallback, because H.265 works flawlessly on Apple devices, and both of these codecs are very efficient. This is a combo that I'm using when I'm developing websites and I need to include some video, and I want to give users high quality that will work on slower connections. This is especially important for background videos, because with efficient codec your site will load faster as file will be smaller. H.264 is old, not that efficient codec, but it works everywhere. You have TV from decade ago, it will play it. You have PC with Windows 7, it will play it. You have iPhone 5S, it will play it. It is nice when you need that compatibility. If you want to upload to sites such as YouTube, you should use AV1, because YouTube will encode these videos to other codecs, so you don't have any compatibility issues with your video on YouTube. That's all for today, have a nice day!